Hello everyone, Chance here. This video is going to be how to improve or get better at Titanfall just because I naturally got a good grip on this game very fast. Normally when I play any first newer game, even like a Call of Duty, how Call of Duty repeats its cycle every year, another Call of Duty every year, and Battlefield does it every 2 years. Every time I can understand that previous Call of Duty and Battlefield very well. As soon as the new one comes out, it's like very fresh in my head again. I have to understand the maps, I have to get control of everything again, and it's like it takes me a few days to understand that. But with Titanfall, I got the hang of it literally in my first match. My first match, I had like a 3 KD, and it just didn't stop from there. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if I just understand it very well, or if I'm just getting lucky. I'm not too sure, but I've had a lot of people in my comments, my videos, ask me what they can do to get better classes and how to improve. And I've also had people DM me on Twitter and then message me on Facebook and asking for advice and tips on how to improve. So I thought I would just make an entire video itself on how to improve. So I hope you guys enjoy this and probably sit back because this video might take a little bit. Alright, so step 1 will be intelligence, and you might be wondering, what does intelligence have to do with a video game? And honestly, it has to do with a lot. It has to do with how fast your brain can process things, how fast you can be on the trigger, understanding your mini-map and where your friendlies are at, and not only that, if you know where your friendlies are at, normally that means there's no enemies there or your friendlies would have killed them. So always keep that in mind. You always got to think ahead. Just because, I hate saying this because this isn't directed towards anyone specifically, but people are predictable. I think we can all agree on that. People are predictable. Have you noticed any MLG players are very unpredictable? They know this, like, if someone shoots at them around the corner, instead of going back around the corner and trying to suppress fire up there or something or try to get a lucky kill, they'll actually go underneath and go all the way around, take a huge weird alternate route just to make sure they don't die. And it's just because they're pro players, you know what I mean? They try to be unpredictable because they know that person thinks he's going to pop out around the corner again, and little does he know the guy's already behind him. And it's just, you got to think that way. You got to understand people are predictable. So like, let's say if you're thinking someone will be running up this way, normally they'll be running up that way. A lot of people think generally the same. So if you tend to think, I'm pretty sure someone's coming this way, then hit that spot. You just got to understand you can't be off on the side of the map wondering why you're not getting any kills. You got to be where all the action's happening. If you see multiple players on the capping a flag, cap that flag, hold down that air, because normally that's the hot spot and people are going to be rushing that place. It's just, you got to think ahead constantly. And I know that's very simple for a game like Titanfall where you're generally averaging like 10 to 20 kills with pilots, and it's nothing like Call of Duty's 100 pluses or anything, but it's still the fact that there's always something happening in Titanfall and you got to stay on top of it, and you always got to be thinking ahead. Not only that, the Titans in this game will mix everything up. You can be kicking ass as a pilot, but as soon as people get their Titans, you can be getting your ass kicked. And that's what's so awesome about this game, is it's not very orthodox. It's like, as soon as you get your Titan, and even if you're doing bad, as soon as you get your Titan, you can turn the match around just like that. And it's like the engagements in this game can flip in a heartbeat. And that's what I love about it. So you just got to think ahead, use your brain, and understand the mini-map better, and just be non-predictable, but predict everyone's tactics. So now, I am not the best PC player by any means. I don't have this game on PC, but I'm going to get into a little bit more electronics opposed from actual skill. So if you are on console, your TV is a huge difference. I've known this since I started my YouTube channel. I went out and personally bought a 1080p 19-inch monitor. Well, not a monitor, I guess, just a TV, whatever. But the reason I got it so small is because when it's small, you get faster reactions. Your brain doesn't have to process so many things at once, and it doesn't have to, your eyes don't have to scan so far left. Because I played on a 65-inch TV, and that used to kill my eyes. It used to be in full 1080p right in front of my face, and my whole head would have to turn if I wanted to look left. But on my 19-inch monitor, I literally just have to scan my eyes like an inch to the left. And this helps your accuracy and your reactions so much. And if you're on PC, I'm pretty sure everyone has a small monitor on PC. I don't know if a lot of people have their TVs hooked up, which some do, but I'm pretty sure a majority of them play on monitors. But I'm pretty sure your sensitivity of everything, if you're new to first-person shooters, I'm not a very big PC guy, so this tip might not be that great, but it's something that might help. Your sensitivity, I noticed a lot of people just use the average sensitivity that's built in with the game, but not only that, just scrolling around, browsing on your PC on the internet, that has its own sensitivity, and if those are different, that can kind of mess you up, I've noticed. I've seen a lot of videos of people talking about that if their sensitivity is not the same as it is on their actual PC when they're browsing, and as it is with in-game stuff, it will throw them off because they're used to the sensitivity on the browser, and then they get in the game and it's a little bit off and it messes them up. So maybe focus on the sensitivity a lot more on PC, and on PC, a lot of things go into playing well. It's like, honestly, PC's like all equipment based. Like, if you don't have a good PC, then you probably won't do as well as you could if you had a better PC. But with Xbox, everyone's on an even playing field. So the best way to get the advantage is your TV. I have made this in actual previous videos just because it's a great tip. If you are struggling, get a smaller TV and see if that helps. Alright, so step number 3. This one I'm not too sure I'm going to title it, but I get a lot of people asking me, what's a pilot and what's not? I don't know the difference between them. And honestly, I never had this problem just because the pilots have different skins than all the other AI characters, so it was easy for me to tell which ones were AI and which ones weren't. But not only that, you gotta understand the AI characters will play as AI. They're gonna play very dull and very dumb and slow. So if you see something in the middle of the map just sitting there with its back turned, and it's just, you know the skin is a grunt, it's a grunt, you know what I mean? And not only that, grunts can't cap flags, they spawn near flags, and they'll spawn in the center, and they'll just rush towards flags and sit there. So if you see someone on the side of the map where generally, you know, no grunt has any business being out there, that's a pilot. And it's not only that, just when you shoot your gun in this game, you show up as a thick red dot on the minimap, and people rely on that a lot, because as soon as you see that red dot, you run to it, right? And the best way to cut this in half is to use a suppressor. If you can use a suppressor and stay off the minimap, because there are some burn cards that give your position away, but there is no natural UAV in this game like a kill streak like it is in Call of Duty. But if you could stay off the minimap, boom, right there, you're cutting it in half. People don't know where you're at, they can only find you if they see you. And right there is cutting it in half. So just to know the difference between pilots and grunts and stuff is honestly just understand it. Just realize that only pilots can wall run, only pilots can cap flags, only grunts and stuff will stay in groups, like is in hordes and stuff, and you just gotta understand that. It's just play the game a little bit and you'll understand that fully. And it's just, these tips are supposed to provide some info. You can't just listen to these tips and be like, oh, I'm gonna be a great Titanfall player, just because that's not the truth. It's just, honestly, all these tips I think are fairly common sense among a lot of players. It's just when you're new to the game, you don't know them yet. But just play the game a little bit and you'll understand it better. Alright, for the fourth and final tip, this one's very simple. It's your class. Structure your class around your weapon. If you're using an SMG, don't throw a suppressor on it and expect to get some sniping kills. That's just not the case. SMGs in this game have a very high rate of fire but very low damage. If you throw a suppressor on that, it's just going to ruin the gun. And you can't be sniping people on big open maps. You got to make all 5 of your class slots, structure them fully around the weapon you're using. Like right now I'm using the G2A4 and it's structured around high damage and range. So right there, boom, I don't like to throw a suppressor on it because it normally takes about an extra bullet to kill. So I'm structuring my class around that. But if like with the R1 OC, whatever, the carbine rifle, you can throw a suppressor on that because it is fully automatic, it does have good range, and it can just support a suppressor better than most guns. But you got to understand that you got to structure your class better. Not only that, use everything to your arsenal. I notice a lot of people don't use their tactical ability, and they don't use their equipment like their satchel charges or their grenades or anything. It's just everything's on your arsenal is there for a reason. You gotta use it. And if you use all that and you could just structure your class around that, it'll make you way better. My opinion on this isn't necessarily to break this down, but go on to YouTube, type in best classes, Titanfall, stuff like that, and you'll find very good classes because I have my own personal classes, but I have them structured around my weapons. Like, I try not to throw suppressors on the guns that I need range on. I generally try not to put suppressors and try to snipe people with SMGs. You know, just fairly common sense stuff, but you need to structure your class around that weapon. Just keep that in mind. If you need tips, I'm pretty sure there's a site that will give you all the stats on the weapons, so you can know beforehand what gun has good range, what gun doesn't, which gun's high damaging, which one isn't. Just like that. I'm pretty sure there's a site out there somewhere. I know Synthic has Call of Duty stats and stuff. I'm not sure if they have Titanfall stats, but if you need any help with that, pretty much just look up on YouTube or something for some stats so you can structure your class around it. If you guys have any questions on these tips, please feel free to message me on Twitter or on YouTube or anything like that. The link down to my Twitter will be in the description below, just if you want to follow me. And don't worry, I will follow you back. I just don't want to mess up anyone's following and followers like count. I don't want them to be odd or anything, so I will follow you back just so you can guarantee I have a follower back. No need to worry about that. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on that. And also, not only that, just take into consideration you're gonna have to play with this for about 3 hours. You can't just listen to a YouTube video and be the best Titanfall player in the world. That's just not gonna happen. That just doesn't make sense. So just understand that you just gotta play with the classes, try to interpret all these tips into your game style, and just play with it for a few hours, and hopefully over time you'll get better. Because you can't just listen to a YouTube video and be the best player in the world. That just doesn't make sense. But I hope you guys have a great day. You guys be safe, take care, and I really do hope these tips helped. See ya.